As an anthropologist, nothing beats going out and talking to people. It really is that simple sometimes. Doing it in the right way, doing it in a way where, let's say we wanted to know about the acoustics. The idea is not to go out and ask somebody about acoustics. I mean, if somebody came in to my office and asked me about acoustics, I, working adjacent to that, would have a challenge answering that, right? So from the anthropology side, figuring out how to ask people in a way where you can actually get a good response and what to do with that, I think is incredibly effective. One of the interesting things that we're doing at the moment that we're seeing a lot of interest around is these sensorial mappings, which is less based around interviews and much more immersive. So we'll send people to a site and around a site to experience the site and record their experiences and start thinking about what's the identity of the site, what's adjacent to it, who's moving through it, and how do whatever we design start responding to that context in a meaningful way rather than come in as sort of a UFO from the outside. And that's actually really getting a lot of interest at the moment from cities. So the whole planning process is showing that you understand the place you're designing for. So I think it's a toolbox with different tools. It's not one thing to rule them all. Having these different perspectives all really help. But baseline, if you're in doubt, go and talk to people.
And then, in your opinion, what is more important, what the client needs or what the client wants?
We try to make them see want what they need, right? I mean that's part of the discussion is having that conversation. You want to have high ambitions. Here's what high ambitions look like. Are you ready to go that way? I think that's part of the service. Is coming from an organization that has been primarily research based, moving into being able to sell some of that knowledge as consultancy has been interesting. And reflecting on what we're selling, I think at the moment there's a bit of a worry, I would say, from the people with the money and the power to make decisions that maybe business as usual is not the best business. Maybe having a building made where you focus too much on the budget and nothing else is not going to mean that that building is going to be viable in 10 years or 20 years. So there's right now a genuine opening, at least from the people we're working with, to reconsidering some of these choices at the early stages. And that's where the research methodology starts to make sense. So we can figure out, well, let's have a look at this challenge. Let's figure out if we could actually transform this building rather than demolish it. Or let's figure out what it would require to create a building that is flexible so we can adapt to future, whatever it is the question is, right? And that openness is really what's changing things now. And that's where the research-based methodology really comes in and can do something.
I think it's definitely a bit too late to find out the value of your project when it's built. Right? I mean, that's a very expensive process. I think the understanding of what value means in architecture, I think, is also quite a bandwidth. And therefore, I think the dialogue clearly is the way to do that. We have, of course, internal discourse, internal typologies and solutions we can bring to the table, but then ultimately the decision making, the dialogue is what matters, and also clearly information that can infuse and accelerate and also heighten the discourse. Otherwise, you will not end up with architecture. I think there is no out of the box process, I think.